What is going on, everyone? I'm DeFi Sean. That guy is Mr. Pixel, and we are back on this fine Monday with some more crypto trending, covering the top stories, the top 3 trending projects. Had a really good Easter yesterday. Hopefully, everyone did as well. For the first time in a while, kind of got away. I did not get on Telegram much, which is a very rare thing for me. I'm always everywhere, but yeah, I got away. It's very wet here, but hung out with the family, all that good stuff. But yeah, Mr. P, how are you guys over the weekend? How was Easter? All that fun stuff.
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just hung out with the fam. Didn't do anything crazy. Really didn't go anywhere. Just chilled. Had some family time. Course, watched some movies. Of course, we went to, as I said last week, we went to Mario movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty chill. Did a lot of work as well. Of course, obviously that goes without saying. I was just cranking out clips a lot of the time too, posting them across X and stuff. And just working on more stuff as well. Show prep, of course, Monday monologue. I got to get that ready and getting ready for all that kind of stuff. You know the drill. I'm sure you've been doing it yourself too. But I'm sure you got another. Have you got another podcast episode coming out today, Sean? Or do you have?
I do. Yeah, I do. It's everything's uploading right now. Sometimes the podcast it can take actually, believe it or not, longer than YouTube videos. It's like when you upload to Spotify and Apple, you publish it and it just hits whenever it feels like it.
Yeah.
It just sometimes it like takes 5 minutes. I've had to take hours to like where it actually, because of course I'm subscribed to them. So, I'll get a notification on Apple and Spotify that it's live, but so it will be hidden. Once they actually do hit and I get the links, I'll upload it to Twitter. But they're out there. It's out there. And it was actually a question like we covered Friday, because we'll talk about a lot of this stuff, especially like over the weekend. I'll think about it, but big topic is, even though Bernie I saw is up to like 2.8 million, but that's the topic right now. Like, are the trenches dead? Or like you said, you put a really good thought into my head that are they dead or are they evolving? Are we going back to the cycle of finding substance and things like that? And honestly, now, make no mistakes, a lot of people have left the space. The bots destroy them, all that good stuff. But I think once crypto regulation comes in and people starts flowing back in and money starts flowing back in, people are going to come back. But I think that a lot of people have learned their lessons. And I think buying into hype and buying into pure narratives, I think are going to start becoming a thing of the past. And we're going to do what we always do. We're going to kind of go back to maybe having some pre-sales, having people that believe in projects actually building real utility, like we're doing with crypto trending. And I really do think we're going to circle back, because we all know how trends go. That's what happens. Like, even like clothes, they'll dress a certain type of way in the 70s and 80s, and you'll go a couple decades going this style, and then you'll like kind of like circle back to like how it was a couple decades ago. It's just kind of how we work, like as humans.
History repeating itself.
Exactly. So, and then of course, crypto has its cycles and all that. So I really do think that we're going to start, people are tired. The whole narrative and the meme run in the trenches kind of ran its course. And now I think we're going to start circling back to real communities, real plays, real everything. And that's exactly what we're building here. We're building something sustainable. We're building something real, and we're building something way more than just a token. Mod Media was launched before a token was launched. Like, Mod Media was a brand that we want to bring to the forefront, from casino games to game shows to about to be multiple game shows to crypto trending to Pulse, which is just, as we were talking about, getting bigger and bigger. It seems like every single day, kind of taking itself into kind of like its own product. And we're going to continue to build. I mean, I'll say it, like, we've even talked about children's programming, because we have young kids, and like I've seen the opportunities on YouTube of like my little kids going crazy over certain stuff on YouTube and everything and getting tens of millions of views. So like there's so movie content, because I've produced movie content. Like, there's just so much stuff we're going to do, like even beyond just crypto. Like, that's what you're getting with Mod Media. And then of course, once crypto regulation comes down and there's structure and we know exactly how to go about it, I mean, we probably will tie Mafia like directly into our company. We just got to make sure we do it the right way and we do it the legal way. And, we'll kind of go from there. But, people, they don't realize how good they are being in with us right now, because we're going to continue to build out this brand. And Mafia is, is going to follow. But yeah, do you have anything else to say? Am I leaving anything out? There's so much stuff that we're doing and so much stuff going on.
No, I mean,
very easily be leaving stuff out.
Yeah,
also,
of course.
Let me say one thing. I also did win 12,500 ape on Rico's Revenge today.
Yeah.
So I have no luck with casinos, and I've been losing. And sure enough, I think maybe 1,000 ape. Boom, 12.5. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Nice. And they just did their NFT collection. They had a huge run. Merck said on the transparency page, which I need to go look at, we are now Rico's Revenge is second on the list behind Baccarat at number 1. So like Rico's Revenge should start seeing more volume as it grows. I think revenue wise, we've gathered almost 200 ape, which again, portion of that will be going to our NFT holders. Some of it will be going to the chart. We have, just so everyone knows, we have not claimed any of that yet. I figured like maybe 1,000 ape might be a good number to claim it at. So yeah, hopefully as they continue to grow, we'll continue to grow. And then, yeah, we do plan on, when the time's right, to producing more casino games for him. But okay, sorry. Ask your question, and then I cut you off to talk more.
No, so, continue, man, because we haven't talked about Rico in a minute. So I'm glad to hear some updates. I'm glad to hear there's another big win over there too. And number 2. So what exactly is the transparency?
I didn't get a chance to look at it. Merck sent me that, and I didn't get a chance to look at it. But I'm going to find what he's talking about, and I'll share the screen, and we'll talk about it.
Oh, we can talk about it a little later, so when we're talking about projects. But yeah, if anybody does want to go and check out, see, Rico's Revenge is going to be he's that sleeper. He's going to be that cult classic. You know, those cult classic games that you always remember. It's going to be one of those. But yeah, go over there and set up your account. Anybody that hasn't played Rico's Revenge yet, ape.church, use the referral code MOD when you do set up, of course. And we benefit from that over here as well at our project. But yeah, some good news as well. And of course, as those guys just launched as well over there. So great connections to have. We actually did an interview with Merck and Coco a while back, so you can see that in our highlights section too on X. That full interview to talk about all about it, and we did the launch party. They were here for that too, which is really cool. But yeah, they're just getting going too over at Ape Church, so it's relatively new casino, all on block, all on chain. So games in there, and as they grow, Rico's Revenge will get more and more adoption too. So yeah, head on over there, guys. Ape.church. But yeah, and to touch on your earlier point, Sean, I agree, and I think what we're doing here at Mod Media is it gives us a license to branch into so many different areas, just being an all-around media company, whether it's for content creation, the shows that we do, all the clips that we put out, the trending side of it, which brings like the exposure layer, which we're currently building out all that as well. We got those games, the casino games. We got the live game shows. We're also building in public. We're involved in a hackathon. Like there's just so much going on. And then there's a whole sponsorship angle too, once we continue to grow this brand and grow the show itself. And there's the whole area where people can pay for the spotlight. Then of course you got sponsorship opportunities too, once we kind of grow the numbers here more and more. So yeah, there's just so much going on. And again, like you said, even children's programming, things that we can branch out on into, like, the world is our oyster here, because we're kind of grounded in just like media content products. We can kind of turn into anything. And yeah, Mafia integration will be coming soon enough. Right now it's just kind of very surface level. Anything within the ecosystem you can buy, and if you use Mafia to purchase, you get a discount. That's kind of where it is right now. But look at, like Sean said, once more regulation clarity comes down, we can kind of dive more in and see where we can integrate it even more into everything that we're doing here. Who we got in the comments today? Who we got hanging out? Mr. Bitzel. Back to the MF grind today, boys. Monday monologue, crypto trending, winning hackathon slot. We've got it all today. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah, well, we'll just have to hold our breath for the hackathon thing. Maybe building 3 things isn't enough for a hackathon. Maybe we need to build more stuff. Or maybe it's too much. Who knows? We got Dr. Chuck, Dr. Fire Chicken in the house as well. What's up? Hey, Chuck. If you're available too, man, you should jump on here. Tell us all about Cluck Norris. Any one of these days this week, let us know. Would like to hear an update. Of course, Dr. Fire Chicken launched Cluck Norris over there as part of the Bags Hackathon, which is going on right now. So, yeah, it'd be cool, dude. If you got time, even today, towards the end of the show, come on, give us an all update. That'd be cool. And we got our SFC in the house. What is up, brother? Happy Monday to you as well. We got Josh Wolfprowler. Good day, sir. Good day. Another man that likes his hats. Like I said, the trenches are full of dead, bloated bodies. Yeah, let's party like it's 1999. I like that sentiment. Absolutely. And of course, Josh, mod media is going to be everywhere. Growth, growth, growth. Exactly. I'm not worried about it. Yes, there's a token, but the token is not kind of the be all end all. Like we said, this is the one thing we can't control. Really, is the token to a certain degree, of course, and everything that we do generate. 10% of it goes back to buying. We're all swapped up there. That was weird. It goes towards purchasing Mafia for the treasury over here as well. So that's another kind of other layer on top of it. But yeah, we got to focus on growth, growth, growth. Let me swap us over there. Whatever, it's fine, I guess. But yeah, Sean, there we go. We got some peeps in the house, some decent numbers for a Monday, I'd say. Everybody's just dying for the stories, I think. Oh, maybe the monologue
overall
too.
looking really good. But yeah, we are all ready for that monologue. I mean, we are about 11 minutes in, so
All
I
right.
say, why not? Let's go ahead and see what Mr. P is ranting about today.
All right, let's do it. There's a lot of talk right now about regulation, new frameworks, new bills, new rules for crypto. You hear words like clarity, which sounds reassuring because clarity implies progress, implies structure, direction. Things are finally going to get figured out. But if you listen a little closer, it starts to sound familiar. Banks getting involved, large institutions stepping in, organizations claiming to represent the future of crypto. Suddenly, the language starts to shift. Less about disruption, more about integration. Less about replacing the system and more about fitting into it. And that's where it gets interesting because crypto didn't start as an extension of the system. It started as an alternative to it. It was supposed to remove gatekeepers. Now it feels like we're just deciding which gatekeepers we prefer. And while all of this is happening, while the narratives are being shaped, the policies are being debated, the actual progress, well, it slows down. Because the louder the conversation gets, the more it moves away from builders and toward actual interests, lobbying, positioning, influence. Everyone claiming to act in the best interest of the space while quietly protecting their own position within it. Somewhere in the middle of all that, you've got the average participant trying to build, trying to invest, trying to navigate the system that was supposed to be simpler. But it's starting to feel very familiar because the halls of power don't really change. The names change, the narratives change, but the incentives, yeah, not so much. And that's the part people are starting to notice, that the new guard is starting to sound a lot like the old guard. Same conversations, same delays, same promises of progress that somehow never quite arrive. And while all of that plays out, the market keeps moving. Builders keep building, and people in the middle keep waiting for clarity, waiting for direction, waiting for something that feels like forward motion. But at some point, you have to ask, is this actually progress or just business as usual with better branding?
Yeah, very true. I will say, we want both sides to feel like they got screwed because that's when you know it's a decent deal.
Yeah.
Like in real estate, I've been on the buying side tons of times. I've been on the selling side tons of time. My wife being a realtor, because I just like to know everything. I always see and hear what's going on with her clients outside of our company. And so, I mean, 100+ deals I've easily seen. And the buyer always feels like they're getting screwed. And then on that same transaction, the seller feels like they're the ones getting screwed. Never rarely does one person walk away from the table thinking, oh man, I got everything I wanted. So that's a good thing. So we don't want the banks to walk away saying I got everything, or we don't even necessarily want Coinbase and that side of it to walk away, the crypto side saying we got everything. And from what I can tell, it actually does look like both sides are kind of unhappy, which kind of makes it a little bit better for us. Maybe I'm being a little optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
But we want both sides to be a little pissed and to be kind of on edge. And we'll kind of see how that goes.
Yeah,
But
I agree. I think that's a
Coinbase
fair
is
point.
looking a lot like the old system. Coinbase in
Yeah,
particular. So
self-service, right? Looking
yep.
out for the interests of the actual platform itself, while waving the flag of the crypto community, the crypto space, like they're the arbiter of what crypto stands for, right? Representing the culture. It's kind of like not really. Not looking that way at this moment in time. That's why they had the big furore with the XRP army and the big boycott and stocks plummeting for Coinbase. Like that's and that's a good thing. That shows like communities exerting power over it, which in my opinion is good. But yeah, I agree. I think nobody wants. It would be nice if both parties walked away happy. But again, if we see that, I mean, is that to the point that it's the old guard same as the new guard same as the old guard kind of thing? They're going to say, all right, well, we're all happy now because we're all well positioned, but the space as a whole, whereas, yeah, like you said, if they're both kind of unhappy, then it's like maybe the little man might actually be winning something in that regard, but time will tell, I guess. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yep. And we talked about this being a breaking news, but it's not really a breaking news per se. But
yeah,
the rumor is they have come to a deal. I from what I can tell, that is true. So supposedly, anonymous sources, because this is not supposed to leave the room, so they wouldn't put their name on it, have said that both sides and everyone at the table has come to an agreement. I can't 100% verify it. I've looked everywhere. It's just, again, anonymous sources. So take it with a grain of salt. But I'd much hear that anonymous source saying they come to a deal than that anonymous source saying it's blown up. So yeah, it's looking like a deal. And I can tell you the people that are running it, I know Cynthia Loomis and there's some other ones, the ones that are heading it up, I guess you can say, they are hustling. They are doing everything in their power, humanly possible, to get this deal done. So I am pretty optimistic that it's going to be done. I'm more optimistic now than I was, let's say, in January. And we know the downside. If they don't get this done, it's definitely sounding like it will not be back into play until 2027 with the midterms and all that coming up. So let's just hope we get clarity. I'm ready to move past all this.
Yeah, we need to move to the next phase. Yeah, let's get this thing rolling here one way or another. SFC said we need to meet somewhere in between, or else Coinbase is going to become the new bank that we hate. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we don't want that. Nobody wants that for sure. I guess we'll dive into some stories, Sean.
Let's do it.
Down. All right, let's talk.
I'm ready. All right.
Oh, we're going gambling. All right.
that was the screen to show we have. But yeah, right here. Let's see what we got. All right. Obviously, everything looking really good here. So Bitcoin sitting at 69.8 while the stock market was kind of panicking. Crypto was pumping in the last 24 hours, up 3%. ETH recaptured that 2.1K, up almost 4%. BNB recaptured that 600, up 2%. XRP at $1.34, up 3%. Solana back up to 82, up to almost 3%. And Dogecoin just kind of hanging out right around a little bit over 9 cents, up 1.82%. Yeah, Dogecoin is moving, honestly, the least of everyone. Like, it seems like no matter what happens, it's just right around 9 cents, just hanging out. But yeah, overall, market cap up 2.66%, which kind of mirrors all this. CNC top 20. Up 3.4%. Fear and Greed 37. Now I want to say that was in the 20s, but altcoin season came down. That was in the 40s last week. That's down to 32. And again, take this right here with a grain of salt. I don't think this is really going to tell us if it's an altcoin season. And again, I mean, this meter right here, I don't even know what to think about that meter sometimes. That's what the numbers look like.
The thing is, look, that's the thing. Everything is just going to go up. As soon as like there's some clarity dropped in here, you're going to see massive volatility in what you're looking at right now in the upward direction, I would assume. And of course, on the geopolitical level, any movement in that regard can turn everything on its head or, just flip a switch. So it's hard to gauge. But at this moment in time, it looks like more similar sideways action slightly on the plus side as we come into the start of this week, I guess, Shauna.
Yep. So far, so good. Starting off, in a good spot. So we'll kind of see. I didn't get to listen to Trump's whole speech yet, I don't know what he said about what's going on with the war. Did they come to a deal to make a deal? Was it like something like they're trying to come to a deal, open up the strait, and then have X amount of days to make a real deal? I don't know what's going on with that, but crypto market's doing well.
Yeah,
I need to go back and listen to it to see what exactly was said.
he put out an awesome post on Truth Social. I'm sure everybody's seen all the Pearl Club.
Oh,
the post.
Yeah, you talking about the one yesterday or whatever?
Yeah.
The
Easter post.
Someone was showing like famous quotes from presidents and, showing all the presidents down the lines. And it's like, these very like presidential type, dignified. And then you got Trump at the bottom just dropping that bombs.
Dude, it is hilarious, dude. And that's the thing, like, bro was an entertainer, like on
it's very true. He was
or anything else. And he was always a massive troll. Like, he was a troll before he ever even was going to be the president. So, can't teach an old dog new tricks, I guess. But I was just laughing my ass off. SFC said, y'all seen them Lego animations from Iran? Yeah, they're pumping out the Iran propaganda heavy, with the AI videos and stuff. It's everywhere, dude. It's propaganda wars. Alex Jones nailed it. Info wars. It is. That's what it is. It's the information age, and this is the war. And now we're in, 5G warfare, and the fog is thick, as I've said as well. So, like, lots of times people have no idea what to believe, and you'll see both sides posturing, flexing, posting this, posting that. Who's got the biggest, what, swinging? Like, that's the game that's being played right now at the highest level. So, don't clutch the pearls too tightly, everybody. Just kind of try and enjoy it a little bit. Try and have a laugh. Don't take it all too seriously. I know the world keeps turning at the end of the day, and a lot of it, to be honest, is theater for you and me, for the plebs.
I mean, our government these days with Trump in charge, no reality show beats it. I mean, just watch it.
There's
I think they were like the top show. The Apprentice was like the top show.
It totally was. And he didn't take no shit in that. So, I don't see why that would change if he was to become the president. He wasn't going to take no shit there either. So, but yeah, the best, that's why Hollywood and all that is failing, and theaters are, attendance is going on. The best show on earth is playing out in real time on TV, on the internet right now. So, that's where you're going to get the best entertainment. So don't get too sucked in.
Yep. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with how he acts, but a lot of people scream at presidents, scream at congressmen because they always give correct answers and they're never themselves and they're always fake. But then yet Trump comes out and he's just his complete self and he's unapologetically himself. And then of course now we have a problem with that. It's like we can't be satisfied. But I mean, it is kind of a breath of fresh air just seeing a politician just be themselves, just do what they do.
Right.
Not always giving the politically correct answer, not always doing that. So, I mean, you kind of look at it from that way.
That's probably why, obviously he's more relatable to the common man, because he was relatable. I mean, a lot of people say the common man, he's not the common man. He was, born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and he was given $1 million by his dad to start his industry. But he's still a big capitalist, and that's the thing. And he certainly comes across to most people as looking out. I mean, look at it this way: you got the majority, more than half the country supporting the guy. And look, like we talked about, Sean, you got overcorrection too, right? We went from Trump to Biden, and then from Biden back to Trump. That is like their wild swings right there.
Crazy wild swings.
But I mean, you say Biden, but like, let's be honest, it wasn't Biden. It was the people around him that were running the show. Everybody knows that. But yeah, let's jump on to our first story, Sean. Let's see what the internet is dragging up for us here. There it is.
All right. AI agents are becoming targets on the open web. Researchers are warning that AI web agents introduce a new class of identifiable traffic online. A recent paper described a parallel poison web setup where a site can detect an AI agent, then quietly serve it a different malicious version of the page while the human user sees normal content. That shift The threat model that shifts the threat model fast. A website no longer needs to trick a person directly. It can identify the agent and tailor the trap specifically for the system acting on the user's behalf. The danger is bigger than a bad summary or a confused answer. Research on browsing agents show they are vulnerable to indirect prompt injections where hidden instructions inside web content can manipulate the agent's reasoning and push it towards action the user never intended. Because these agents do more than read, they can navigate, click, submit information, and interact across sites. That means a poisoned page is not just misinformation, it becomes an active attack surface. The privacy side is already showing cracks. A 2025 study evaluating 8 browser agents found 30 privacy vulnerabilities with at least one issue identified in every agent tested. Researchers warn that browser agents can become high-risk points of failure because they may access credentials, autofill data, calendars, financial information, and other sensitive user contexts while operating across the web.
Wow. All right. I mean, it was eventually going to happen, right? I mean, you got these AI agents out there just, scraping the web, scraping sites. Now they're interacting on your behalf, signing in, acting, in platforms, on sites for you, where like the user doesn't even really engage that much. You might just send your AI agent off to do a task, but now they might end up at a site that has, is expecting them, right? And knows how to exploit an agent in a way that it can significantly compromise security in that regard, right? So it's an interesting one. It's something that's got to be considered a lot, I think, when you're thinking about that level of protection for AI agents. So I'm not a massive tech guy. I know Adam could probably talk a little more about it, but it's interesting to think that, their AI agents are now being targeted as security risks. So it's another vector, I guess, that has got to be taken into account, because I know a lot of people are on there and they're just like, when you set up an AI agent, you're giving it access to a lot of your stuff. You know what I mean? In order to be able to execute stuff for you, right? Execute tasks. So a lot of people, like, they'll buy a Mac Mini, they'll set up their OpenClaw, they'll set up their agent, and then they'll sign into all the things. Let's say if they wanted to run their business, right? They would allow the agent access to all of their, business management tools, basically their emails, this, that, and the other. And then this allows the agent to, like I said, carry out and execute these tasks, sending emails, blah, 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 browsing the web. So now it's basically being used as a potential, security risk and attack vector for malicious software and stuff. And sites, when they go to them, they can recognize, basically, I'm putting this in kind of layman terms, they can basically recognize, oh, this is an AI agent now, this malicious whatever it is under the hood can, exploit the fact that it is an agent and knows how to manipulate it and, exploit its security, I guess, vulnerabilities, and maybe gain access. So it's something that's got to be thought about. And I know we do talk, I know it's called Let's Talk Crypto, but we talk a lot of AI because there's such like they're connected so much. Yep. And AI is, intertwined so much with crypto these days, and they're merging. The lines are becoming a lot more blurred here, and that's going to happen, I think, across all vectors. You won't be able to talk about anything going on in the world without, there's going to be some AI context into it. So yeah, this is something that I think everybody's got to think about too, before you're given AI or any agents access to everything. Try to be mindful of this, because obviously this is new tech, right? And it's all experimental, and always with new tech, there's going to be people, scammers out there looking to exploit it in some way, shape, or form to drain you in some way, or steal your data, or steal your personal information or something. So something to be mindful. If you're going to do that, make sure that you're only giving it access to what you're comfortable with, and make sure you're keeping your finger on the pulse on things like this and potential vulnerabilities on your own end before you kind of execute this stuff. Definitely something food for thought.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still getting used to this whole AI thing, man. It's like it's getting real quick.
Yeah.
Like, AI is like it's growing like at an exponential rate. Mm-hmm. I feel like just a year ago I was just using it just to like ask questions here and there, and now it's controlling everything. You don't have to do anything anymore. Like it's wild. But yeah, this is something obviously we have to watch out for, like you said, because I mean, I know everyone gives access to everything to their AI agents. They literally, like I said, go out, send it on a task, and there's access to everything. I know people, it's executing trades for them. It's doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I even saw some people, speaking of Ape Church, have their agents gambling for them. Like,
Yep.
I mean, it's wild. It's just
And that's the agentic economy that we're talking about here. We're like,
yeah.
robots have already claimed the internet. They're more active on the internet than humans are at this point. And they're, like you just talked about, that's a financial vector you're talking about too, where they have access to a wallet that has money that they're out there trading on XYZ. And like what Ape Church did, and I think we touched on it, they were working on it at that time, is allowing people, allowing agents to come in. So you have to set up a kind of a portal to allow that to happen. And by the way, that's something that we are actually working on as well with Pulse, where people can even have their own agents be able to come in. So we're working on a portal for that too, to be able to manage the whole project Pulse and manage a project for them as well. But that is it. That is the agentic economy. And that's what you're going to see now. More and more sites like that opening up agent portals, basically, where people have their own agents and they just drop in a little bit of code or API keys or whatever it might be, and then their agent has access to that piece of software and it's able to act on their behalf. And you're going to see that across massive platforms here in the future. Just think like, let's say, things like Slack, things like, all these project management tools or whatever it is, even like you said, casinos, websites, Polymarket, all those kind of things. Coinbase, even, they're all going to eventually allow. And we talked about that too with Anthropic and Coinbase, that they found from that leak under the hood that they are, there's that comparable framework between both, and that's where that link is coming in. Like, they're priming here to allow for agents to be able to operate even on things like Coinbase. That was one of the theories that was brought to the surface, basically based on that story that we covered. I think it was Friday even, actually, we covered it. The clip is out, I'm sure. We dropped tons of clips over the weekend, but if you go to that one specifically, it's another Anthropic one. But yeah, this is the way it's going. This is what the agentic economy is going to look like, everybody. So buckle up, don't get left behind, and just make sure, of course, that you are being safe and secure, and you're not putting your personal data or anything like that in a compromising position. So keeping your finger on this kind of a pulse is very important for everybody. So that's why we want to bring the good stories like this, just so everybody knows we don't want anybody getting screwed out there. Speaking of people getting screwed, let's move to our next story here. And this is a big one. This is a doozy, and this raised a lot of interesting questions. There was one more slide to that one, actually, Sean, there, just to give it a bit of final context if you want to.
All right, let's finish it. The bigger implication is strategic. If websites can fingerprint AI agents and those agents remain vulnerable to manipulation, then the open web becomes an adversarial environment for autonomous browsing. The race is no longer just about building smarter agents. It's about building agents that can survive hostile pages, deceptive interfaces, and web content designed to exploit their decision-making in real time.
Yep, there it is. Like, wrap a nice little bow on it there. That's exactly it. Be careful out there, people. Be careful.
Yes.
It's important you keep your finger on the pulse when it comes to this kind of stuff, just so, you're not caught on the hop, as they would say. But yeah, speaking about people getting screwed, North Korea's drift hack shows crypto's new weakest link. This was not just another DeFi exploit. Investigators say the 285 to 286 million drift attack was likely linked to North Korean actors, with both TRM Labs and Elliptic pointing to DPRK indicators in the exploit and fund movements. That alone changes the weight of the story. This is not just a protocol getting hit by a random attacker. It is being framed as part of the same state-linked crypto theft playbook that has already drained billions from the industry. What makes the hack especially alarming is that reporting says it did not come from a normal bug in Drift's code. Instead, the attacker abused Solana's legitimate durable nonce feature and leveraged pre-signed administrative transactions to move against the protocol. That means the real breach was deeper than code. It was about trusted permissions, approvals, and operational process. Exactly the kind of weakness a patient adversary can study and exploit over time. The scale and speed were brutal. TRM says roughly 285 million was drained in about 12 minutes, with most of the stolen funds bridged to Ethereum within hours. Once that kind of privileged access is compromised, teams may have almost no room to react. By the time the exploit is publicly visible, the attacker may already be several steps ahead and moving funds across chains. Now, this is, like I said, this is a beefy one because there was more. I had this partially made last night and then more kind of came to light today. So I said, hey, just add some more cards so we can give more insight for the viewers. The most disturbing part may be how long this appears to have been building. Reporting says the attack was tied to a month-long campaign, and Drift's own background update said the operation required significant resources, organizational backing, and deliberate preparation. That is the bigger lesson for crypto. The next massive loss may not come from code everyone can inspect. It may come from the people, workflows, and sign-on processes sitting behind the code, and from an adversary patient enough to infiltrate them first. The Drift hack has now opened a second controversy. Circle is under fire for not freezing the stolen USDC fast enough. So this is no longer just a story about how the hack happened. There's also a story about whether major centralized crypto players can move fast enough when state-linked stolen funds are already moving through the system in real time. It raises a bigger question for the whole industry. If these companies have emergency control, when does that control actually get used? A MetaMask security researcher now warns that suspected North Korean IT workers may have quietly contributed code to major DeFi projects for years. That makes the Drift hack even more unsettling. The threat may not just be outside attackers breaking in, it may also involve hostile actors getting close to crypto teams, learning how the industry works, and understanding where the real weaknesses are before the attack ever happens. So basically, that means that these guys are embedded for a long, long time in big projects, and they eventually kind of drain it in that manner. So they embed early, and they do it like a normal project. Over time, they bring in that trust and they build in under the hood, and then they eventually draw down, and then they clean you out, like we saw with the Drift hack there eventually. So they're patient. Basically, is what this is saying.
The long con, I guess you can say.
Oh, you're muted there, Sean.
No, I think it's you. I'm not muted.
Oh, maybe it's me. Okay, it could be me.
Yeah, let me know.
Let me check my audio here.
Anyone else verify? SFC, whoever's in the chat, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm not seeing your green mic pop up there, Sean, so I'm not sure.
Let me see.
Maybe it is me. Someone tell us in the chat. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear Sean? Yep. Okay, I'm not sure. You're both good. Okay, I can't hear you, Sean. It's just me.
I can hear you.
That's weird. StreamYard, I think, here. I'm going to do a quick refresh here, Sean, and I'll be back. Okay, everybody can hear both of us, but I just can't hear you. Okay, I'm doing a refresh. One moment.
All right, guys. While he is doing that, also have this in. Senator Haggerty confirms crypto market structure bill is heading to the banking committee next week. Senator Haggerty confirmed at the Digital Assets and Emerging Tech Policy Summit at Vanderbilt that the crypto market structure bill will enter the Senate Banking Committee starting next week with the goal of passing it out of committee in April. We're very close, and my expectation is that we get it into committees in this next working period that starts on Monday of next week, so a week from today he's referring to. There are several issues still outstanding. I think one of them are insurmountable. He acknowledged that there is still a lot more work to do. The bill, originally titled the Clarity Act, when it passed the House in July, would shift primary crypto oversight from the SEC to the CFTC. It has been delayed by government shutdown, stablecoin yield disputes, and ethic concerns. The Senate Agriculture Committee has already advanced its version. So, yeah, it's looking like next week on Monday when they're back in session, which I think is the 13th is when they come back in session, which is Monday. I was reading them some breaking news. Can you hear me, SB?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I was reading them some breaking news from Senator Haggerty about it looking like they're going to be headline, Senator Haggerty confirms crypto market structure bill headed to banking committee next week. So all things are looking to line up. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I feel like it's the most optimistic, closest we've ever been. I've heard some people talk about the whole Trump's family making money thing, which remember, there's gonna if that's written into the bill, it's not going to be the Trump family only can't trade. It'll be the writing will be politicians can't trade it. So I'm curious to see these people, politicians by these people, have made tens and tens, hundreds of millions of dollars combined in the stock market. We've talked about it here before. Coming into the Congress in debt, and just a few short years later having a net worth of 30 million. They're going to do the same thing in crypto. So my question is, do all these senators and all these politicians, do they hate Trump that much that they are going to stop themselves from making money to make sure Trump's family doesn't make any money? Because that's the question. They if they stop them, they stop themselves. So that's what I'm curious about. If it's going to state that congressmen or family members can't trade crypto, it's going to apply to all of them. So is Trump derangement syndrome that bad that they're going to, again, cut off their nose to spite their face? I'm very curious to see how that portion of the bill is going to go.
Right. And if they do decide to go that route, then they would have to apply that same to stocks. Right.
Well, I don't think that's part of the conversation. I think it's strictly in this bill related to crypto.
Well, yes, so I agree. I agree. But if they did that to crypto, then that would bolster the
kind of be hypocritical
to stocks, right?
Yeah, it'd be kind of hypocritical to say, yeah, you can trade stocks, but you can't trade crypto.
Right. Right. It would have, and of course, you know how they do, right? It'll say, oh, well, you can't do it, but what did they do? Yeah, they just get their spouse to do it, and that's how they all navigate.
Well, they want to write it up to where pretty much you nor anyone in your family can do it.
Well, right.
So that's going to apply to your spouse. That's going to apply to everyone, which is kind of drawing a line. Like, if
that's the trading debacle as well right now, right? So that's kind of that's the parallel I guess I'm trying to make here, is that like if you say that that's the way it's got to be for crypto, then that should be the way it has to be for any finances, where it's because
I agree.
We're talking about this taking over, or working in parallel with it for whatever this transition period is going to be. But at the same time, if you're going to apply it here, I feel you'll be hard pressed, and I know that will be its own process. But again, if it does go that way, I feel like it'll be difficult for them to make a case to the contrary if it were to come to stocks and stock trading. So it'll be a tough one. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate it for sure. But yeah, good breaking news. Hopefully a week out. Let's see what happens. I hope they're not just kicking the can. We know how that goes. We'll be here in a week.
I will say,
oh well, this guy said no, but you know how it goes. But yeah, go ahead.
Call me an idiot, call me being foolish, but I really am optimistic. I do really feel like this time is different than the previous months saying how that we're close. I really do feel like they actually are close. I could just be being naive. I could be one to be optimistic, but I really do think that they are close this time. I do think they're getting it all sorted. I think they have to get it sorted. Like, it's not a matter of we need to get it sorted. It's a matter of they have to get it sorted. We can't just keep going with how things are for a multitude of different reasons. So I think it's not a matter of we need to. It's a matter of we have to, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. But again, everybody, all of these big players, they all got to get in the right positions. No one's going to give the nod here until all of these big players.
Well, I think that's what's been going on
right
for the last 5 or 6 months. I think that's what's been going on. I think that's the biggest reason it was stalled, is because everyone was positioning themselves.
Yep. But Trump's not allowed to position himself.
But Trump's not allowed. Yeah.
And again, all the big players are. But yeah.
And trust me, I'm not defending Trump's family making money. I could care less. But
let's not be hypocrites.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So we'll see. And you know what? As long as they're gonna do what they're gonna do to make their money. I just want to make sure that we're set up so that we are in position to actually be able to have success and make money and all that stuff. And if it means you're gonna do what the government's gonna do, it just is what it is. Because they're going to do what they're going to do anyway, one way or another. That's how it works.
Yeah, and I want to make sure as well, that the people that have been in this space for so long, the regular people that have been keeping it up, that have been the actual communities, the actual everyday users of it, like, they deserve a win here out of this. The ones that have been keeping the space alive for so long. So I hope they don't end up getting the short end of the stick here. Us, all of us, in this space, in the trenches, whatever you want to call it, the builders, the worker bees, I guess you could say. But yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want the worker bees getting screwed here.
Yeah, and if you're positioned, you're going to benefit whether the system's rigged or not. Again, I mean, I know other people are there. I don't know about you guys, but I've made thousands of dollars in projects that have come out to pull the rug because I took my money out before it happened. Like it again, everyone in now will pretty much be taken care of whether the system's rigged or not because you got in early enough. Now, of course, the new people coming in, that's gonna be a whole different story. But yeah, we'll kind of see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And getting back to this story here right now as well, I think kind of what it's kind of laying out here is that these big players, foreign players, given like obviously because there's no clarity, there's no, anonymity can work, but even in that regard, right, even when anonymity is available, the people that were coming in working for these big DeFi companies, they had strong resumes. Like these were coming over as like legitimate builders and growers, and they get in and they're part of building the code. I think I have a list here of some of the projects that were implicated in this, from the MetaMask security researcher guy Taylor Monahan, the North Korean IT workers that were contributing to this code for these projects. Some of the projects during DeFi summer, if anyone's familiar with that. It was around June 2020 when like a lot of these DeFi projects was kind of accelerated around that time. But some of the projects that were named were SushiSwap, Thorchain, Harmony, Anchor, Shib, and Yearn, right? So like these guys that were coming in and getting these jobs, they were legit jobs and they were legit like candidates. But who are these guys really truly working for is the kind of question you got to ask yourself here. That's kind of what this is exploiting. It's not like an outside attack vector coming in. It's like the attack vector was in there building with you for years. You know what I mean? So like this is something that is kind of what this is alluding to as well. And then also the other big point that this story is kind of making, what it highlights is all these guardrails are set up to protect this kind of a massive drain to happen. And this drain was going on and this money was being moved. You're talking about like close to 300 million being moved from one coin to another, from Solana to ETH, I believe it was saying there. It's like, what's the point in having all these guardrails and this and that when you can't execute something in real time here? And then that brings it around to where are we with decentralization at that point? You know what I mean? When a company can just do that, freeze your assets. Because look, we've heard about companies freezing people's assets for XYZ, right? What was it? Robinhood, right? They froze people's assets, wouldn't let them trade, wouldn't let them do this not so long ago during the GameStop, right? Situation, right? They can do that. They can do that, right? They can do this, but when something like this has happened over in a period of 12 hours, nobody saw it, nobody stopped anything, nobody froze anything. So like it kind of begs the question, what are these entities really doing? How safe are they really making us? Like, if this is your job, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to protect the investors, and you can allow something like this to happen over this period of time and absolutely zero intervention. It raises a lot of concerns, questions about, are we really being protected? Are we really like that decentralized when you can just turn it on and off over here? And we've talked about this too, it's like we are decentralized to, a point, but also if you want, you got to go through off ramps if you want to kind of bring your money into fiat and bring it into the real world at points. Now, obviously, the more big business accepts crypto, the more kind of you off ramps are, you don't need them anymore. But that's got to happen. But again, there's, it raises a lot of questions. So I think it's good food for thought for people, for sure, just to think about it in that regard too. The amount of research you can do, and you could still be open to a vector such as this. So definitely something we got to look into. People got to be mindful because, you're dealing on the world stage when you talk about crypto. It's not just confined to your locality, even your country anymore. You're talking about a global entity here where people can be anonymous. People can work from anywhere in the world. So like, who are the entities that are even working for you, for your business? Do you really know? Are they malicious actors, building your code under the hood, like that you're not aware of, that, are making it somewhat malicious? Are they working for outside external governmental agencies? Like, there's so many different vectors here. And of course, this is all new. And with mass adoption coming in as well, people are going to be focusing, targeting more on ways to exploit it. So the guardrails have got to get better and better as we move forward here. But again, clarity and all that is going to assist with that. So sooner than later. But yeah, good one, beefy one, but a massive hack, dude. Massive hack.
All right, Mr. P, you mind reading the next story? I'm working on something in the background. Getting some stories uploaded because our story, I want to see what they're saying about the Clarity Act. So I want to get it uploaded so we can all listen to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Perfect. I'll move on to the next one here. Here we go. All right. AI may get its own utility bill. Sam Altman said at BlackRock's US Infrastructure Summit that AI providers are heading toward a model where people buy intelligence, like electricity or water, and use it, quote, on a meter. That is the core shift in this story. AI is not being framed as just software anymore. It's being framed as a utility-style service you consume continuously and pay for by usage. Altman also said model providers will increasingly look like businesses selling tokens, with costs changing based on model size, reasoning, and how much AI work is being done in the background. Behind the scenes, same thing.
That was it. Wrong one. Same thing now.
Yeah, same thing. In simple terms, the vision is not just a chat bot you visit once in a while. It is AI running all the time around you, with pricing tied to how much intelligence you consume. The reason this matters so much is infrastructure. Altman said OpenAI wants to escape a world of being capacity constrained, because if compute stays scarce, prices rise and access starts drifting toward the rich. That is why this was said at a BlackRock Infrastructure Summit in the first place. BlackRock said that AI era is driving rapid demand for data centers, power, ports, pipelines, and broader infrastructure, with roughly 10 trillion of investment needed. This is where the story gets bigger than OpenAI. The US Department of Energy says data centers could consume up to 9% of total US electricity demand by 2030, while EIA says US electricity demand is now seeing its strongest 4-year growth since 2000, fueled by data centers. So when Altman talks about AI like water or power, that is not just branding language. It points to a future where intelligence becomes a billable service built on massive physical infrastructure, energy demand, and political fights over who gets access and who pays for it. So do you think, Sean, a utility, AI as a utility? And of course, you know who's footing the bill to build all this stuff out as a taxpayer, and then you're going to get paid. You're going to have to pay to use it too. How do you like them apples?
I mean, I would have never this didn't really enter my brain of or my thought process, but I mean, after hearing it, I mean, I believe it. Sounds wild, but probably true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you think?
I mean, my thought on this is, I think it's a bit hasty. I feel like first and foremost, and I don't know why this hasn't happened to this point, that the internet itself has not become a utility. Because of what it does, right? If you think about it, the internet itself, and let's say the likes of X, it's the town square, right? It's the internet itself, it's the high street, right? You cannot open and have a functional business anywhere without having access to the internet, right? So I feel like the internet in and of itself should first be a utility, right? It's been around long enough. I mean, AI at the moment is still in very experimental phase, right? And I don't see why that should be leapfrogging over the internet itself. But I feel like a lot of it has to do with power and control, obviously. What doesn't? But the reason there was no, and it's not like debates hadn't happened around it, but again, it's not falling into that, that civil framework of being classified as a utility. And I think, that's why censorship was allowed to happen. For example, if the utility company, if the water company don't like something that you said online, they can't just cut you off, right? The electricity company can't just cut you off because they didn't like what you said somewhere, right? We saw that happening for years. Like, look at the likes of YouTube, even X, before the Twitter files came out and all that, how much interference was going on at a governmental level there, and they were censoring tons of people because they didn't want their voice to be heard. They didn't want them to speak. But again, like, you're basically denying them access to the public digital new town square in that regard, right? So it doesn't really work. It should be a utility first, right? Because everybody needs it. It's a critical part of infrastructure these days, whether we like it or not. So it should fall into that same legal framework, and that should not be allowed to happen. And I think maybe why AI is potentially jumping the gun here is because now AI is able to enforce behaviors, and it can almost kind of train people, right? So now it could almost act like a Trojan horse. If this is the utility, now everybody has to have it, right? Everybody has it, just like you have electricity, like you have water, and now you gotta have your AI now too. And what does AI do? It can influence people, so whereas the internet, you didn't really have as much control over it, but he who builds the AI kind of has control about how it forms people's perceptions and this and that. We've talked about even studies doing that, and there's a clip out there about AI making people delusional, so we know how that happens. So I feel like we're being a little hasty. I think first and foremost we need to actually lock in the internet itself as a utility, and then maybe we move to AI as a potential. But again, it's so experimental now. Like, people don't know exactly where it's going, and there's still guardrails being put up around AI, and I think if that was to happen too quickly, it mightn't be a good thing. And I just feel like we should lock down the internet first, make that a utility, make social media platforms and things like that utilities. If it acts as the town square and it's where people can get their voices out, then it should be treated as such. Everybody, like I said, every business needs it to function in the real world, so I think lock that in. And then as AI develops a little more, before we jump the gun, then maybe we could start discussing AI as a utility. But I see the parallels, like its usage, it's XYZ, it's going to be part of everything. But so is the internet. The internet was here first, and I feel like that should get that status first, and position everybody, secure everybody's position on the internet. Like, that's the thing, when like the likes of the Constitution and these laws were written, they weren't predicting the internet. So, I know it's legal murky waters, but again, we got to look at it from kind of a base level here and look at people's rights a lot. So that's why these things, I feel like, take so long. But then when you hear about AI getting kind of jammed to the forefront of this discussion, becoming a utility, I feel like we can't overlook the internet itself as a whole first and foremost. That's my thought on it anyway. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think, yeah, I agree with you 100%.
What are your guys' thoughts in the chat there? You think that's a fair point to make? You think AI as utility is a good thing? I think it's not a bad idea. I just think it's a little early for it.
Again, I'm still just trying to wrap my head around again how fast all this is progressing with AI. Like,
yeah,
and now we're talking about AI's utility. Like, it's just wild.
Yeah, and it's and the problem we're having is that, like, our governmental institutions, number one, they're a bunch of dinosaurs. We kind of live under a gerontocracy, so they don't even know anything about this. And plus, the rate of acceleration, governmental institutions, they function so slowly, and they require so much information, and like trying to keep up with this is next to near impossible. So, we're kind of in a little bit of a pickle here in order to do this. So it's going to take some years, I think, to get there, but definitely something to consider. More food for thought, I think. But some good thought-provoking stories here for everybody this week to kick off our Monday.
Always have some good stories. Yeah, like I said, watch Crypto Trending. Always bringing on the hot takes, and we do upload these one by one. We started putting them on Rumble as well. Rumble getting some decent viewership. So again, clips are usually how you're found. So we're going to continue busting these out and putting them on there, and hopefully keep growing this audience, which 186 strong right now. So really cool to see that. We have looks like 157 on YouTube and 29 on, I think that's our biggest audience on X. 29 on X. So yeah, guys, shout out to everyone joining. Yeah, we'll keep growing this audience out. But yeah, let's get into to some more news right now.
Yeah.
Well, several of us in this room know a great deal about this. Chair Selly right here has been dealing with it on the Senate side. The PC is concerned about the Ag piece specifically. Went through the Senate Ag Committee, was on a completely partisan basis. Every Democrat voted against it. I don't know how it's going to turn out on the Senate Banking Committee side, but it's got to move through both layers, and that's where it is right now. Chairman Hill's done a tremendous job leading the Clarity Act out of the House, and we will be in a position, I hope, to bring all of this together very soon. On the Banking Committee side, I think we're very close, and my expectation is that we get it into committee in this next work period that starts on Monday of next week, so that over the next several weeks we should have this into the Banking Committee. There's several issues still outstanding. I think none of them are insurmountable, and we will get to a point, I believe, by in April, that we'll have it out of the Banking Committee. There's still a lot more work to do.
Yeah, see, that's why I wanted to listen to the whole quote, because Twitter, me and Twitter, we've reached a deal, we're getting there. Again, he clearly stated they have things to work through, but it sounds like everything is looking to be in a good position to get this thing moving forward. Because crypto Twitter, it gets Twitter in general, X in general, whatever you want to call it. Everyone wants that clickbait. They hear a story and done deal. The Clarity Act is passed, and then it's like, no, it's not. If you listen to us now, we said it all. That's how it works. So
you got to break through the BS a lot of the time. So much clickbait out there, and everybody's dying to. I don't know if you saw that notice. Oh my God, Trump is dead. Oh my God, Trump is at Walter Reed. Oh look, Joe Biden's dead. Like the amount of that dude that pops up randomly is just like, oh. But yeah, no, it's good to see. I mean, some positive, at least chat about it anyway. It adds to the hype, to the bullishness, I guess, if they come out and say that. And there's a lot of spotlight on those politicians right now as well, so they got to come out and say things and let the public know that it's moving in a positive direction. To keep away the FUD, we all know about trying to keep away FUD, so I'm sure they got their PR teams out there making sure that everybody's staying positive about it, because they know how much the markets run on hype and things like that. So more information warfare, but hey, it sounds like it's moving in the positive direction. Hopefully we'll have some clarity here soon. I said April, so that'd be nice. Yeah, some good show, Sean. Some good stories today, and some good breaking news. I like it. Let's keep moving forward. Let's stay positive, guys.
All right, guys. We're going to be covering. Yeah, we're going to cover the top 3. Just wanted to kind of break it down. So we're not going into grave detail right now. All the ones 3 on the top 3 have been covered in detail. And again, we're still going through the beta. We're still going through the adoption phase. Now, remember, it's very hard right now. First off, majority of projects don't survive more than 12 hours. So finding solid projects to be on that leaderboard and to stay on there is hard. On top of that, having a real community like we have here might be even harder. So, it's going to take a little time, but we're going to continue pushing. We're going through the beta. Pulse is growing even bigger and bigger. But yeah, as why we're still small and the leaderboard is still small, again, we're not going to spend 30, 40 minutes of the show talking about the same projects every day. We've given everyone their highlights. But yeah, we'll touch on the top 3 real quick every episode, unless there's a new player, and kind of go from there and just keep guys. Remember, even though we are still kind of in beta, we still are making sure everything's working good. Any project that can use any kind of exposure, it's free to initially get on it. They need to be on it. So yeah, get them on, because we do have some good solid projects on there. That's what I have to say about Crypto Trend. If you have anything to add.
Yeah, no, and I'll talk a little bit more. We'll go through the projects here, and then I'll give a little rundown on Project Pulse, where that's at the moment as well, and how people can take advantage and stuff. But yeah, I guess we'll crack on here with our first one, Sean. Let's give a quick run into number 3. All right, you got Save Moon up there, Sean?
Hold on one second.
Oh, look at him. Look, he's already plugging his book. Look at that.
Well, I got something to say about that, but yes, that didn't have Save Moon on. All right. So yeah, guys, save Moon, save Moon. It's Joe's. He's working on it. Trust me, he's hustling. He's doing everything he can to get in touch with the right people to see what's a possibility, what's not a possibility, what's going to happen. I know he did the Save Moon Sunday again yesterday. He's continuing putting out content. I know, of course, like the rest of the market, the chart isn't where everyone wants to see it. But guys, this is a long-term play. It wasn't just Joe going to make a video and 3 million Safe Moon people are just going to flock over to Save Moon. It was never going to work like that. But he is hustling just like us. We never give up. We set our sights on something and we continue to build it in spite of this market. We touched on it last week. My podcast episode talks about it today. But I mean, the co-founder of Solana can't even move the needle. It's the market we're in right now. Hopefully with clarity and a couple different other things, we're going to get better. But trust me, he's hustling. We are supporting him in every single way possible. And yeah, Save Moon, I think is going to be a good one, especially with Joe in the forefront.
Yeah, and it's all about narrative too, you know, when you're talking about something like this that Joe's doing. And no one's got a better narrative for this particular story than Joe. And, you know, just let's say, I know we didn't kind of dive into it, but maybe let's just read out so people understand exactly what the mission is here for Joe. Why this mission is personal, right? And you scroll down just a little bit there, Sean, to that part of the website, and I'll read it out here for people just so they can understand what the narrative is. We all know when it comes to tokens and things like that, it's all driven by narrative. And I mean, CoffeeZilla was even talking about this around the Safe Moon time, even mentioning Joe. Bro's got a massive YouTube channel. That's how big this thing was. Everybody knows if you know Safe Moon. If you don't, go check it out. But yeah, this is why this mission is personal for Joe. Joe wasn't an outsider. He was there at the peak when Safe Moon was exploding across the internet. When belief was at its highest, Joe was one of the loudest voices helping carry that momentum forward. He believed in it not as hype, but as a real shift in what crypto could become. But belief only lasts as long as the truth holds. As questions began to surface, Joe did what most wouldn't. He looked deeper. What he found changed everything. Instead of staying quiet, instead of protecting his position, Joe chose to speak. He raised concerns. He challenged the narrative. He pushed for transparency when it mattered most. And for that, he paid the price. Legal pressure, public backlash, reputation on the line. But time has a way of revealing the truth. What was once dismissed was later proven, and the story that followed wasn't about being right. It was about what comes next. Today, Joe stands in a position few ever reach, someone who helped build the momentum, had the conviction to question it, and now has the opportunity to rebuild it the right way. Save Moon isn't just another project. For Joe, it's unfinished business, a chance to take everything learned, the highs, the failures, the truth, and turn it into something accountable, transparent, and worthy of the belief that started it all. And I think that's kind of what, you know, people need to kind of understand when it comes to this for Joe. It's not just you know, launching a shitcoin and trying to do XYZ. Like, this is something that has been part of Joe's life for a long, long time. And, you know, being the biggest influencer during the Safe Moon days, calling it out, you know, that's quite the journey to be on. And to be honest, like, if he was able to pull this off and ultimately buy out Safe Moon, give it back to the people and do what it was never able to deliver, because as far as I'm aware, they're not very happy with the current direction of where Safe Moon is. It was bought out. They got the shaft immediately. There was money drained again right away once they bought the brand, etc. Yeah, and I believe a lot of them still in that community are a bit disgruntled. So Joe's looking to maybe pull it out of the ashes here, revive it, and give it back to the people. No better man to do it, in my opinion. So what a story that would be. Great narrative, I think. And, you know, if narrative is what you're after and dedication from a man like Joe, which he has in spades, is this is a good play, in my opinion. And if you know Joe, you know once he gets the bit between his teeth, he's not going to be jacking it in. He's going to keep pushing. And you can be damn sure he's reaching out to a lot of the Safe Moon people. He knows all of them. And he's probably, I'm sure he's recruiting and he's doing a lot of work to make this a success. Because, you know, like I said, he doesn't dive into it and just half-ass anything. And he'll be live every day and he'll be pushing this. So, I mean, I wish him the best of that, dude. It'd be great to bring Safe Moon back. It has the potential. It has the brand recognition. If it starts getting some upward hype again and some, you know, some forward momentum to some degree, you could see a massive push here. You could see that thing absolutely taken off again, without a doubt.
Yep, 100%. Everyone go over to @crypto_2joe, savemoon.net, and go check it out. And of course, I'm sure it'll stay at the top, but we will continue to cover it nonetheless for sure.
All right, let's jump on to number 2. Who have we got? Let's see. Let's add him to stage. Right. Okay, cool. We got Luca if he's in the house with Arbitrage Inception.
All right, guys. Arbitrage Inception. Mr. Speed, do you happen to have the details on it pulled up? We can go off real quick. That's perfect.
I sure do. Yeah, I have it pulled up here from our own Pulse, Project Pulse, background here where we get a full breakdown on all the projects too. Okay, so Arbitrage Inception is sitting at number 2 on our leaderboard, 6 votes currently, showing solid community backing on the Binance chain. The DEX is now live with UI bugs fixed, featuring a swap aggregator for optimal routing and single token liquidity. Adds no more hassle there. Recent posts highlight upcoming limit orders, cross-chain bridge, and fiat on-ramp as next steps. Price is holding at 0.00004136, up 7% over 24 hours with a 4K market cap. The volume remains light at $44, liquidity at $720. Holder data isn't detailed, but the pinned updates and active X chatter point to building momentum around real product progress rather than just hype. Of course, this is a low market cap one. So head on over there, guys, and check it out. That's kind of readout here that we're getting at the moment. Luca seems to be pretty active there too. I know he's using Project Pulse. I hope that's benefiting you, Luca. I know you're in communication with Adam too, and giving him tons of feedback. So that's sweet. And here he is. He's got a little update for us too. Let's go. I make the website 100% SEO and performance and launching Google Ads KYC ongoing. All right. Well, there is the man himself. That is the developer of Arbitrage Inception. Early project there, getting going. So yeah, best of luck with it, Luca. And of course, keep the updates coming into us. We're happy to talk about them here. Anything you got going on. Best place you can go, guys, to check them out is there's the website, arbitrage-inc.exchange. And if you want to go and follow them on X, it's at Arbitrage Incept. And I know they have a Telegram over there too, so you can access that through the website. They probably have a link on X there too. And you'll probably be in direct communications with our guy there, Luca, and he can give you all the details you want if this is something that is tickling your fancy. Yes, but there it is. All right. Let's see who we got next. It's our guys over at Whale Miner. Looks like they are still crushing it. Keep on pumping. I'm sure that chart is looking great. Guys are crushing it. Let's check it out.
But yeah, Mr. P, before I guess you can read their update, couple of things. Yeah, they guys are absolutely crushing it. Tommy, Brett, we've been around them for a while now. We see how they work. We see their work ethic. They are doing pretty much, especially in a market like this, everything right. To offering whales incentives, getting 65-ish% of the chart locked up, to their NFTs, to their revenue. I mean, they're doing everything right. As perfect as you can possibly do a token in this market, they're doing it. So it's one that, again, we caught at 10,000 market cap. It's currently at 2 million. And I don't know how high this one's going to go, guys. And not that I ever know how high anything's going to go, but I mean, like I said, I've said it before. It went up to 200,000. I thought it was going to come down. Then it's 500, then 700, then 1 million, then 1.5, now 2 million. And I'm waiting for that big correction, but it just never seems to happen. So yeah, I mean, this is a good one, guys. I mean, I can't say enough about the team and how it looks. We had this run with Operation Phoenix, how it looks when everything just happens to fall in place, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Boys are crushing over there. We did an interview with Brett as well not that long ago, representing Whale Miner. You can check that out in our X account at Moon or Dust Media. You go to that, go to the highlight section. You can see that interview there. And we did one way back too. I think it was like one of our first interviews that we actually did way back when it was Tegbot. So I got a whole ecosystem building over there, guys. And of course, the Telegram specific prediction market is the big play that they're doing right now. And they got some Telegram games as well that they build. So it's awesome. Community is really behind it. They're doing some great stuff. Here is our pulse read on these guys. Whale Miner Sol, ticker is Whale on Solana, tops the leaderboard at number 1 with 16 votes, showing strong community backing despite a slight 1.85% dip over the last 24 hours to 0.4191. The market cap sits at 2.1 million with fully diluted value matching, backed by 89k in liquidity and 9.6k daily volume. The project centers on its whale prediction system, a Telegram native prediction market for real world events with no KYC, plus a whale miner game, and 60% of supply locked for stability. Recent expos highlight real time volume tracking now live in markets, a bullish Twitter space with giveaways, and the system opening to the public soon, reinforcing momentum even as price consolidates. So there it is, everybody. The guys over at Whale Miner Games are killing it. WhaleMinerGames.com. That's where you can check them out. And if you want to check them out on X, at Whale Miner Sol. And of course, you can join their Telegram channel as well to get probably the most up-to-date info. You can interact with the actual builders and developers over there as well. Yes, there we go. Oh, sorry. You just
I think we both hit it. So that hurts. A 25K, I don't know what it's worth, but it's not peanuts currently. So yeah, that hurts. But again, it's so hard, when you see it coming up like that. The market says that 99 projects out of 100 probably are going to hit, and then they're just going to fall. Everyone's waiting for that exit. So you just never know. It's impossible to predict. And I'm sure you had profit and you thought that was the best it was going to get, and rightfully so, because that's how the market has us trained to think right now. And this was the 1 in 100 that, or 1 in 1,000, or maybe even 1 in 50,000 that actually is having a run, and not just a run, but a sustainable run. Even more impressive. It's not like a 24-hour run to 2 million and then now it's back down to 160. No, it's having a sustained months-long run. So yeah. Again, shout out to those guys.
Testament to the guys. Yeah, and Ziggy just said the prediction bot is working great. I'm testing it. Awesome. Great to hear.
Cool.
That should be going live any day. So everybody go and check them out. Here is the details again one last time. The website whaleminergames.com, and the X handle is at whaleminersol. Join the Telegram too for the most up-to-date stuff. Hey, you might even get into some of the early testing over there. Seeing they're working. That should be launching very soon. And hey, maybe we'll have Brett on again when they do launch it, and he can give us the full rundown on everything and tell us all about his successes. Would be amazing. But yeah, guys, go check them out. There we are. Shot of projects for today. Very nice. Keep voting, guys. Keep doing it. It's awesome. And we'll keep covering you guys here on the leaderboard as long as you keep voting. That is the way to do it, guys. And of course, there is the leaderboard right there. And you want to get signed up? Very, very simple. All you got to do is go up here to my project. If you're watching this show, you have a project you want to get talked about, you want to get your community voting. It's super easy to do, guys. Just go here and click register right there and go through the necessary steps. These are all the things that you're going to need. Project official, X account details, the tokens contract, or mint address, and access to the deployer wallet for a small verification transfer, so we can make sure that this is the correct and legit project. 2 to 3 minute process, guys. It's very, very easy. Sean's got some videos out there as well to be able to get signed up. Super easy. So if you're in any communities out there, you want them to get on the leaderboard here, talk to the developers of those communities, tell them, hey guys, get this bot installed. It's super easy. And of course, like we said, you get Project Pulse as part of all of this too when you sign up. And on the other end, of course, you do have Project Pulse itself. Now the website is undergoing a little update. There are some of the features right there, but once you sign up, it's going to be free to people during the beta phase there while we're doing the testing. So don't miss out on that. But I did want to give a little quick read through here on what exactly we're kind of looking at as what Project Pulse kind of is. And you can go to this now, but this is going to be updated here pretty quickly, I would say. Let me get the correct banner up here so you can see where that's at. There it is. Crypto Trending /Pulse. Right there. That's where you can go and check it out. So this is kind of what Project Pulse is going to be. It's a standalone product. And it's basically going to be the command center for modern Web3 teams. So I've been doing a lot of work with AI over the weekend here and just solidifying the brand, the product itself, and putting it in its own standalone category. And then the actual crypto trending side of it is an additional feature that you can utilize within Project Pulse. Whereas if you come in the other side, that's fine. You can go and sign up to crypto trending, get your project, take advantage of the exposure, and then you get the added benefit of being able to access Project Pulse from that end too. But as far as Project Pulse being a standalone product itself, It will be considered the command center for modern Web3 teams. It allows you to manage content, coordinate your team, understand your audience, and move faster from one place. With Grok built in and trending mode ready when you want to get discovered and activate your community, Pulse gives your team a sharper operational edge. All right. So the idea is the command center for modern Web3 teams. As I've said, you can publish, manage, analyze, and coordinate from one place. So it will be classified as a standalone operating system for founders, operators, marketers, and community teams. Brings together publishing, team workflows, project knowledge, voter insights, and community tools into one streamlined command center. You can use it as your team's daily workspace, turn on trending mode whenever you want to get discovered, and activate your community. Right. And that's kind of the way we're going to kind of frame this. So we're going to be looking to approach projects here and developers, and not even necessarily, you don't even necessarily have to be into crypto, right? You might just be in the Web3 space in general. You might have Telegram channel where you coordinate, you got a community, you don't necessarily even have a token, but it'll be a great management tool. And then, hey, are you a crypto project? Awesome. Connect your token here, XYZ, right? But there's so many other tools in there that you don't even necessarily need a token for. So that's why we've decided to kind of open it up to a much broader audience here, but still kind of remaining in the Web3 crypto space to a degree. So we'll reach out in that regard, and we're going to like push Project Pulse, because obviously we're still growing the trending side of things, and as our viewership grows, that's going to become more and more desirable for projects. But of course, that requires numbers on our end to keep producing the show and building it as best we can, make it entertaining, and then those spaces become really desirable when you're getting those viewership to see your project. And we'll be bringing the spotlight section in, we'll be interviewing developers and things like that. So that whole section is still in the growing phase, whereas Project Pulse as a software, a utility within and of itself, a product of its own, that's pretty much there, and that's what we're beta testing right now, and it's really good. It's going really good. Got lots of extra features to add to it. So that's what we're kind of aiming for. We can bring people in one door, as I've said, through Project Pulse, and utilize that. And then, hey, if you're a crypto project per se, you can utilize that extra exposure layer that we have with crypto trending and the show and all that kind of thing. So that's kind of way we've kind of moved to frame it. Sean, I think that's the smartest play here for us. Would you agree?
I agree. Yep. I love it. Like I said, it's kind of coming into its own right. I can't wait to continue to see how it evolves. But yeah, I think it's a big player. I like the evolution, especially because of the market right now and crypto trending. Getting projects on, communities on is going to be hard because, quite frankly, like I've already stated, there's not tons of good projects and good communities out there right now. But guess what? We're building in a bear to, what they say, to run in the bull. So yeah, when everyone starts to come back and everyone just starts building again, because that's what they do. Oh, it's green. Let me go see what I can do. We're gonna be in place. Whatever the market structure bill sends down, we will make sure we have our ducks in a row, and we will be the one ready to run while everyone else is just starting to build. So excited for the future. Excited for crypto trending. Excited for Pulse, excited for Moon or Dust, excited for Wise Guys Gambles, excited for Rico's Revenge, and the list goes on. So, yeah.
When you put it like that, I'm like, oh, damn, dude, we got so much shit going on. Nice line there, SFC. Shout out to you as well, brother. That recent post you see on X, and that was SFC's creation there. The guy sitting on the shitter, just running his project with a little controller here. Send it, send X posts, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, shout out to you. I like it. You bring the heart, we give you the pulse. That's exactly.
That almost needs to be our tagline. That's a good one. That's a good one. SFC. I like it.
Locked in. But yeah, so that's a touch. And of course, everybody, you can go if you want, get anyone, anybody that's building in the space, whatever, get them signed up, cryptotrend.ing/pulse on over there. And of course, we want to see what we all have going on in the broader scale of everything. Go to moonordust.media and you will see all the different things that we are building on that site over there. Of course, and yeah, I think that's it, Sean. Oh yes, before I forget, we do have a token ourselves. it's called Mafia. And if you want to avail of everything that we're doing here at Moon or Dust Media, all of these products, all the things that we're building, you can go and pick yourself up a bag of that. If you're watching on Pump Fund right now, you can go down there, pick yourself up a bag. And of course, we're looking to really integrate Mafia into our entire ecosystem once some clarity comes down. But right now, it's kind of surface level. Anything that you purchase within our ecosystem, you get a discount if you use Mafia. So, and of course, as Mafia grows, once we start earning revenue and generating more revenue, we will be buying up that chart to 10% of everything we generate goes back into our own Mafia treasury as well. So if that is appealing to you, go pick yourself up a bag. Or if you're not in a financial position, just please engage with any content, clips, all that stuff that you see coming out. Talk to people about Project Pulse. Get them to install it. It's totally free. Or get to sign up. There's no installation. Get them to sign up. It's totally free, like I said. And we're going to have a point here where you don't actually need to connect a token. You can just go in first, connect everything with X, utilize some of those other features, and then if you want to connect your token after the fact, you'll be able to do that. So that's something we're working on. But right now, of course, if it is a crypto project, you want to get on that leaderboard, you want to take advantage of Pulse, you can head on over there to cryptotrending.pulse or just straight to Crypto Trending and view the leaderboard like we showed you and get signed up. Early days, we'll be doing a lot of extra promotion and benefits for early adopters of all of this software too during the testing phase. So don't hesitate, guys. Get on over there and set it up.
All right. Yeah, I think with all that, we're going to go ahead and close it out. We are 125 minutes in, 188 viewers. So again, guys, thanks for showing up, hanging out, joining the conversation. Yeah, Mr. P, do you have anything to close this out?
No, I just want to say I love you guys. I hope you're enjoying the show in the new format. I hope you're enjoying the stories. I hope you're learning something. I know we're still in the Pump Fun Hackathon, but as you can see, we're building on multiple fronts at the moment. We're constantly putting updates into the chat as well in the Moon or Dust Telegram to our community, letting them know how this build is going, how the feedback is going, all those updates. We had been building Wise Guys Gamble Live, but of course, we needed to kind of jump on Crypto Trending and Project Pulse, which kind of manifested out of that. That's how things seem to go when we start building something. But yeah, excited for it all, guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you're enjoying the new format of the show and all that. And yeah, we'll see all you guys tomorrow. Much love. Appreciate it. Keep interacting with as much content as you see, especially those clips. We're trying to push those out and bring the numbers and the viewership up here as much as possible. So yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love.
All right, guys, another great Monday edition of Crypto Trending Now. I'm DeFi Sean. That is Mr. Pixel. We will be back tomorrow for Tuesday's edition of Crypto Trending at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. PST. But until then, you guys already know what to do. Trade safe.